Hello, welcome back everyone. Today we are moving on to Art, Truth and Politics by Harold Pinter. In the last class, we had an introduction to Harold Pinter, the British dramatist. Today we are starting the lesson, which is the Nobel Prize acceptance speech by Pinter in 2005. The speech is an attack against the policies of America that I have told you in the last class. In para 1 to 6, Pinter tries to analyze truth in art and life, the nature of truth in art and life. Listen very carefully. These ideas are very abstract. You may find it difficult to understand, but listen closely. Para 1 and 2. In 1958, I wrote the following. What did he write? There are no hard distinctions between what is real and what is unreal. Pinter says that there is no big difference between what is real and what is unreal. Real means actually existing, not imagined or supposed. Unreal means not real, imaginary or illusory. So there is no big difference between what is real and what is unreal, nor between what is true and what is false. A thing is not necessarily, not always, either true or false. It can be both true and false. So he says that there is no difference between there is no big difference between real and what is unreal. There is no difference between true and what is false. And a thing should not necessarily be true or false. It can be both true and false at the same time. And so this is an observation made by Pinter. I believe that these assertions, these confident statements still make sense, still meaningful, and do still apply to the exploration of reality to art. So Pinter feels that these statements are still meaningful. It can be applied to explore the reality through art. In order to explore the reality through art, these statements are still useful, meaningful. So as a writer, I stand by them, but as a citizen, I cannot. So he believes in these principles as an artist, but as a citizen, he cannot. As a citizen, I must ask what is true, what is false. So the meaning, the crux of what he had said in para 1 and para 2 is that Pinder means that in art there is no difference between real and unreal, true and false, etc. That is, in art, a thing can both be true and false. As an artist, Pinder agrees with all these statements. However, as a citizen, he must ask what is true, what is false. So that is what Pinder was trying to convey in para 3. Truth, the concept of truth in drama is forever elusive. Elusive means difficult to find. It is difficult to find truth in drama. Drama stands for art. So truth in art is always forever difficult to find, elusive. You never quite find it, but search for it is compulsive. Compulsive means it cannot be resisted. So even though it is very difficult to find, the search for truth cannot be resisted. The search is clearly what drives the endeavor. So the urge to search It is the urge to search that drives the attempt, the endeavor. So, uh, even though something is very difficult to find, you are not stopping it. You are going on. You are continuing to search for it. Search for truth is your task. So, it is the duty of the reader or the viewer to search for the truth. More than n- more than not, you stumble. More often than not, you stumble upon the truth in the dark. You accidentally meets truth in the dark, colliding, hit by accident, or just glimpsing or seeing an image or shape with which seems to correspond to the truth, to agree with the truth. So uh, sometimes you may find something which look like truth, agree with the truth, often without realizing that you found it. But real truth is that there is no there never is any such thing as one truth to be found in dramatic art. So uh, in dramatic art there is no single truth. There are many. These truths challenge each other, recoil, bounce from each other, reflect each other, ignore each other, tease each other, and blind each other. So, what Pinter is trying to say is that we think that there is a single truth in it. No, there are several, and these truth challenge each other, question each other, bounce with each other. They ignore each other. Uh, Sometimes you may feel that you have the truth in your hand, but when you realize that it is in your hand, it will slip through your finger and is forever lost. So the meaning of this paragraph is that Pinter says it is very difficult to find truth in drama art, but we must search for truth. Urge to search truth cannot be resisted. We may accidentally see the truth in the dark. We may not realize that it is truth. Truth is not one. There are many truths. These truths question each other. You feel truth is in your hand, but it will slip through your hand when you realize it. So, in the third paragraph, he says about truth in dramatic art. And para 4 and 5. So, language in art remains a highly ambiguous. Ambiguous means not having a single meaning, but several meaning, confusing. So, language in art remains a highly ambiguous transaction. Transaction means something which is handed over. So, uh, language in art can be compared to a quicksand. Quicksand means loose ground, which is dangerous, and it can also be compared to a trampoline. Trampoline is the thing that you can see in the image, which is used for gymnastics. Everything, whatever falls on it, bounces up. So it is used as a metaphor. The meaning bounces away from the language. Language is the trampoline. A frozen pool which might give way under you, the author, at any time. So language is also compared to a frozen pool. Frozen pool is very dangerous because when you are walking over it, it may crumble away and you may fall at any time. See, a strong fabric sheet connected by strings to a frame used as a springboard and a landing area in doing acrobatic or gymnastic exercise, that is trampoline. Trampoline is used here as a metaphor. Language is like trampoline, meaning bounces away from trampoline, which is language. But as I have said, the true search for truth can never stop. It cannot be adjourned, break off. It cannot be postponed. It has to be faced. uh, right there on the spot. So even though it is difficult to search for truth, we cannot stop searching for it. Truth should be found out. We must face it. And para 6, political theater or political drama presents an entirely different set of problems. Now, Pinter is analyzing the features of political drama. What are the features of political drama? How it should be? Sermonizing or preaching or spoon feeding has to be avoided at all cost. So some dramatists will be having the tendency to preach or spoon feed everything to the audience. It should be avoided. Objectivity is essential. Objectivity means keeping at a distance without camping with any idea, saying it from a very distant perspective. The characters must be allowed to breathe their own air. The characters should be left free. Author cannot confine and constrict or restrict them, limit their freedom to satisfy the author's own taste or disposition, nature, or prejudice. Prejudice means having idea without seeing or experiencing something. So some authors may restrict the characters, so it should not be. Characters should be left free. uh, the dramatist must be prepared to approach them from a variety of angles. So the characters should be viewed from a variety of angles, viewpoints, from a full and uninhibited means without restricting, without limits, without restricting a range of perspectives, range of viewpoints. The dramatist should surprise the characters and perhaps occasionally, but nevertheless, still giving them freedom to go what which way they will. So these are the some of the conditions that Pinder says that characters in a drama should be left free. This does not always work, though this is not always practical. And political satire, of course, adheres close follow closely to none of these rules. Political satire will not be following any of these rules. In fact, does precisely the opposite. Political drama will not be following these rules, which is against it. So that should be the that should be the function of the political drama. So, in this paragraph, Pinder talks about how a political drama should be. It should not be it should not spoon feed the idea. The theme should be the part of the plot. The author should not restrict the characters. They should be allowed to develop freely. Political satires never follow any rule. Satire means use of humor to criticize. Literary works, such a literary works are called satire. Malayalam movie Sandesham is an example of a political satire. So we are stopping here today and read the text, page number 50 and 51, with the help of the video lesson. So thank you very much.